my whole life to be a minority.
Literally.
Let me be the majority for another 4 more years if possible.
Literally.
Welcome everyone to my podcast, She's Got Next, where real talk meets real experiences. And I don't know if y'all can tell my little background and by the hat, but I'm back in Aggie land. Yes. And of course, I couldn't have a podcast and not sit down with some Aggies, okay? So I have Makinna Moore. She's a senior here at the illustrious, I said that, illustrious
yes.
North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. So let's talk about who is Makinna Moore, the amazing things that she does. She's a senior here at A&T. She's pursuing her bachelor's in fashion merchandising and design with a minor in entrepreneurship and over 4 years in fashion and social media influence. She's a digital content creator. She does social media. She's focusing on diversity and inclusion in fashion and beauty. You may also seen a couple of her brand collabs, and she's done things with Victoria's Secret Pink, Etiquette, and Armani Beauty. She's a former PR social media intern at Proenza and Schooler, where she contributed to global communication strategies. She's actively contributed to the creative community through fashion shows, modeling events, and HBCU-based campaigns. She also has established More Influence, a series aimed at educating and inspiring creatives in social media and content creation. And lastly, if you haven't been in tune, she was invited to the White House for Black History Month to create content highlighting amazing HBCU leaders. So let's give a wonderful big Aggie welcome to Makinna.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
So it's been, about 3 weeks since GHOE?
Yeah.
Still having withdrawals.
Yeah, literally.
Girl, it was a time was had. People were seen, outfits were worn, photos were taken.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so nice to just be back in A&T during those times where you're just like, I just need to be back on my campus.
Literally.
And it gives me that extra boost that I need and that extra drive to keep on going. Because when you hang out with your friends and you see alumni, you're like, all right, if they were able to do it, I was able to do it kind of thing.
For sure.
So let's talk about what it means to be an Aggie, the journey, the schooling, the rigor, the fun. Share your journey of how you were able to come to A&T and what drew you to this HBCU specifically.
So I definitely feel like A&T was my dream school, and the HBCU was definitely a non-negotiable for me. I can confidently say it's been the best 4 years of my life. I feel like I've grown in so many ways that I probably never even thought I would be able to grow in, whether it's like professionally, academically, socially, just my growth development as a person. So I'm very grateful for A&T and my A&T community as well. I feel like A&T is just like the best HBCU. Like we're undefeated, unmatched, and I just think it's a great space to be in, especially for my creative development as well. A&T just the sky's the limit. There really is no limits here, so I'm very grateful for my journey.
I love that. I mean, it wasn't too long ago in 2018, I was moving into Haley Hall, and I had this sense of belonging when I moved in. Like, it felt like I was in the right place at the right time for the right things. And then fast forwarding 4 years in the Coliseum, grabbing the tassel and hearing Chancellor Martin say, "You now may move your tassel."
Yeah.
That's when it hit me like, I did it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone that was rooting for me, I did it. This was exactly where you need to be. And I think if you don't go to an HBCU, you can never understand that passion and support that we have for our alma mater.
Yeah.
And it's just not even for A&T, it's for all HBCUs across. Like, don't get us wrong, we have our little rivalry beef,
Yes.
Central, the birds.
Yeah, the
but
birds.
It's all love at the end of the day. Like, I have HBCU sisters that are at Hampton, that are at Spelman, that are at VSU. Like, we are a family at the end of the day. So I love that you're able to share that.
Yes, I just love feeling celebrated and also appreciated. I feel like you can't get that if you're not at HBC, and that's why, it's just truly unmatched.
I agree. For me, I always said, like, I have my whole life to be a minority.
Literally.
Let me be the majority for another 4 more years if possible.
Literally.
So what has been the most memorable experience at A&T, and how has it shaped your career?
Most memorable experience at ENT was probably the launch of my first workshop of More Influence. And I just think that was so special because not only, was I able to successfully create a PowerPoint and teach people about content creation and navigating brand partnerships and monetization, but it was also kind of like a measurement of my growth. I just feel like I used to be so shy. Public speaking was not my thing, and that's another reason why I wanted to create More Influence, to push myself out the box and to see, what A&T has taught me, and how I can also further apply that. So I feel like More Influence was just, kind of a great way to test that. And it was definitely a really good, like, fulfilling, proud experience. So.
All started at A&T, and I think that's how everyone's experience is. It always starts at A&T, and then people just excel. I just love seeing so many Aggies in different fields, different industries, just doing amazing things. And I mean, like they say, Aggies do. So
literally, and it's amazing to get to those spaces, like, once you're out into the world in your corporate jobs or your creative jobs or whatever, and you just start meeting people, and then you're always going to run into an Aggie, and it's just so amazing to see that you're already in your work, and then you're just meeting people who were literally in the same position as you. It's such a full circle moment, and to also, just a reminder that you're not alone. It's literally Aggies everywhere.
Literally, so. Like, I know about 5 Aggies at UNC right now, and it's always amazing to be like, Aggies are everywhere, because they are, and you just never know. So how did you get into your content creation journey? I know everyone's trajectory is different, mine's is different, but could you share your process of creating content, the equipment that you use, and how are you able to create your vision in a digital aspect?
I feel like it started out with me always having like a passion for YouTube. I had a YouTube channel when I was younger, and then I got to college and I just started like just taking pictures, like styling outfits and just taking pictures and posting almost every single day. And I was like, I know all my friends are so tired of seeing me on their timeline, but I don't care. Like, I'm gonna keep posting because it was just such a passion of mine. And then, like I said, for my community just started to support me in the best ways, and my following kind of just grew over time, provided me with more opportunities, not just in fashion, but whether it pertains to like voting or beauty, or even working with other students who are in the same creative spaces you, like collabs and stuff like that. So that also helped me to establish my creative community, just like collabing with other creators on campus. And I started out with my phone, my tripod, and then I got a mic, and I just recently got a camera. And I've been doing this for 4 years, and I just got my camera a couple weeks ago. So that also goes to show, like, you really don't need that much to start off content creation. And I just use CapCut. It's free. So, yeah, I would say that's my little content creation starter kit. It's not as complex as people like to make it seem.
I think a lot of people think that in order for them to start their content journey, they have to be like the big name influencers with the Sony EV10 cameras. They got to have multiple ring lights, and it's really not that. Brands want authentic content creators just like me and Makinna. You don't have to have the whole production. Whatever you have, start posting. I like to say everything is content within reason. But everything is content. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. And you also don't have to have 100,000 followers to be a content creator.
Okay.
You could have 5,000 followers and have more impact than somebody with 20,000 followers. It's all about how you connect with your audience. Like, numbers don't lie, but followers do, because people be buying their followers. So always watch out for that. Like, just do you.
Yeah, I agree, because I created a video on Instagram and it had nothing to do with theirs, and they liked my content, and I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I would love to create some content for you, if you have the capacity to like have another creator. And they were like, no, not at the time. But I kept creating content and they kept liking it. And then they were like, you know what, we're gonna actually send you some goodies. And then they have an ambassador program. I signed up, I got it, and now they're sending me products. So post the content, because you never know what brands or who is watching, because that was a video I did for somebody else, a different brand, and they liked the quality of my content and they wanted to send me products. So post it and don't be scared.
Brands have to grow with the influencers, like, or they're not going to get, any attraction. So I think brands have to learn that, like, you have to be okay with collabing with an influencer who might have 5,000 followers, because their impact just might be, more significant.
I agree. So, when you use your platform, how do you share your voice and advocate for the issues that matter to you and your community?
I feel like I communicate the different things that I'm, passionate about just by doing a variety of campaigns. So even though my niche might be fashion, I'm always going to do beauty, and I might talk about in my video as well, like why it's important for a brand to have, an inclusive shade range. So that might just be a makeup tutorial, but I like to talk to my camera, and I could just be doing my makeup and like talking about the importance of that. And I feel like that's advocacy, or whether it's talking about voting, like I could be, doing a get ready with me, and then while I'm putting on my jewelry or perfume, like, talk about the importance of voting. So it's like there's different ways to incorporate advocacy in your content. You just have to make sure, like you said, like, it's authentic and it's a reflection of you. And yeah, there's different ways to do it. You don't have to be sat down cookie cutter in front of a light and a camera. Like you can, that's the great thing about creativity. You can make your videos whatever you want to make it. But I feel like that's the way I like to do it, through reels and like actually speaking to my camera.
Like I said, y'all hear my YouTube videos, I'm a certified yapper. I will talk your ear off if possible.
Literally.
So if you want to listen, if you have something to say, people are going to listen.
Think that people are listening. They are. Like, even when I post a reel, and I'd be like, I know my friends aren't going to see this. Like, they see my content all the time. I just feel like Instagram is messing the algorithm up. But then I'll talk to one of my friends and be like, oh yeah, I saw how you did your edges that day, and I'd be like, oh, you actually watched the whole video. So don't think that, I know if my friends are watching and they see me every day, I know other people are watching. So don't think that people aren't paying attention, because they definitely are.
They are.
Yeah.
So we talked about content creation. We hit on A&T because I'm gonna bring it back to my alma mater always. Describe the Aggie Pride culture. Describe A&T's community and how impactful it is for people looking on from the outside, people that are here, alumni. What does it mean to have such a big community that's constantly always rooting for everyone to win?
I feel like Aggie Pride is literally unmatched. And I feel like that's why, some of the HBCUs get a little salty, because they really don't understand, like, why A&T genuinely lives up to the hype that we get. We're not just getting, donations just because our student center looks pretty. Like, we're getting donations because they know that the engineers that are graduating are going to be the best of the best. And let me tell you something right now. When recruiters are looking for, Black engineers or Black creatives, they're not going to the PWIs. They're going to the HBCUs because they know the HBCUs have the best of the best.
Say it again.
Literally. So I think that's just like what's so important, about A&T, is that we genuinely produce the best of the best, but we also have fun, and we also know how to maintain, that family-like culture.
Like I said, if you ain't attended HBCU, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like it's something that you can't describe, because you have to be here to experience it. You can watch all the YouTube videos, you can talk to all the A&T influencers, but if you wasn't here grinding, if you wasn't at the Dome getting your little Pizza Hut like I did when I was here, if you weren't standing out in the student center on a nice Friday taking pictures and hanging out with people, you can't get it. Like, it's something you just have to experience. So is there any advice that you could give to a current student right now who's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, like I'm ready to throw in the towel?
Yeah, I would say for current students, like I was that student who thought that I couldn't do it, and I just feel like throughout college you have to understand the importance of self-discipline. That doesn't mean isolation, but you have to, and that's why goal setting is so important. Like, you have to know the things that you want to accomplish in life eventually. And then once you start, I feel like naturally you will just start accomplishing those goals. So I know one of the goals I had was, making the dean's list. So I just got my planner together, made sure I was organized for the semester, and naturally I hit that goals. It wasn't every day I was like, I gotta make sure these, I gotta make sure these. It's just once you set those goals for yourself, you're good. As long as you have a plan, you're good. And in the beginning, if you don't have a plan, that's okay too. Because when I first got here, I was a business major, knew I didn't want to be in that, didn't know what I wanted to do with that. Switched to fashion, but I had my plan, and I based my plan off of passion and just preparedness as well. Like, it's just like, yeah, like also like don't be afraid to take risks, and don't limit yourself in college, because college is a safety net, and this is the place where you can grow and not receive the most brutal of the brutal feedback, because the real world is brutal. So make all the mistakes that you can in college, and once you have your plan together, you're good. And I would also say for high school students, do your research on the schools that you're interested in. I feel like a lot of people do research that is kind of irrelevant. If you're going on TikTok and you're looking up dorm tours or, parties and stuff like that, you're not looking at the right stuff. Go and look at, alumni that have graduated that you could possibly connect with on LinkedIn that could tell you about their experience in the department that you're interested in. Like, to see if the school is a good fit for you. And thankfully, I was able to take a tour, so I was able to get that in-person feeling. And that's why, I have friends that do tours, and that's why it's so important to get a tour. Like, come get the feeling for yourself. I knew I belonged here as soon as I took that tour.
So, of course, it's not A&T fun if we don't talk about our memorable and fun experiences at A&T. So, what has probably been your most memorable or funny moment at A&T? And child, I have so many.
Oh my gosh. I remember sophomore year GHOE. We came back from a party. I can't exactly P-Valley. It was a P-Valley. I'm sure y'all know what College Days is.
Yeah.
But yes, so it was a P-Valley party, and we ran back in our dorm just so lit. I'm talking about it was 20 of us. We was just running all throughout suites, like taking the chairs from the lounge room and rolling in the hallways and bumping into people's doors. I'm not saying do that, but I'm not saying don't do it, because get your experience. Like, that's something that I will always remember that night, and like how much fun we had. And the same people, like, it's just so beautiful to see, like, those same people that I was just in the dorm with, like, running around, are still the same people that were literally at my house last night, where we can, have conversations about post-grad or, or ourselves and stuff like that. And I'm just so grateful for, like, my friends. I feel like that's one of the greatest things that A&T has ever given me.
I agree. I believe my freshman GHOE and my senior GHOE and all of my alumni GHOEs have always been the best experiences. I remember me and my friends, we would pull all-nighters and then go to the Big Calf and go get breakfast, get our omelets made or whatever. And then once we eat, we walk back to the dorm and we're knocked out. Or there was parties after parties and the music hit, the vibes were there, everyone was having fun. And then we go back to our dorms and we're like, man, that was good. Taking pictures, taking off our makeup, still chit-chatting, watching TVs. And like I said, I love my freshman year experience. Live off campus maybe after sophomore year, but freshman year, leave your car at home.
Literally.
Stay on campus.
Don't go home every weekend.
Don't go home, especially if you're a local. I was not a local. But if you're a local, don't go home, because you're going to miss out on all these experiences. I remember walking to Cookout, walking to Miss Winters, which is no longer there.
I know.
Sad tears. If you know, you know. To close out my podcast with a fun, quirky little question. If you could have a dream brand collab or celebrity influencer, who would it be and why?
This is the easiest question ever.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Yes, my dream brand collab is with Body by Raven Tracy. That is my favorite brand of all time. I love everything it stands for, inclusivity and diversity within the fashion space. I love their they have the most genius campaigns. Community impact campaign when they went out and gave, food to the homeless, and it was like a cute little shot with one of the girls on the ladder, the other girl was holding the ladder and like trying to get a kitten out the tree. Like, I just think stuff like that is so cute, and it just also brings like that lightness back to the world that we need. Like, fun supporting a brand that supports some of the things that you support as well. And so that would definitely be my dream collab. Body by Raven, please. Okay. They reposted me a couple times. So.
All right, okay, so we got the repost. We just need the DM and the email. So I love that. So that is a wrap for our episode today. So I just want to say a big thank you to you and a big Aggie Pride.
Thank you.
Biggest.
Aggie Pride, biggest.
Okay, to Makinna for just taking the time out your day and sharing your wonderful, inspiring story, and also letting me have a little memory trip down the lane.
Of course.
But for all my listeners out there, remember, keep shining, keep striving, and remember, you got next.
Yes.
That was amazing. You did fabulous.
Thank you. So did you.
Oh, girl, I love yapping people's ears off and listening to their stories. I just love it.